This is the Mill Hill Building Committee on January 26, 6 p.m. Vice Chairman Jason Lee will conduct the meeting in absence of Chairman Quinn. At this time, I start the opening with the Pledge of Allegiance. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the Republic, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Just as a quick point of order, note, Nancy is now going to be our recording secretary through the town. She has done a few building committees before and does stuff through the town, but she recently was with our Holland Hill Building Committee. So welcome aboard, Nancy.
Thank you.
And thanks for your help. So let's just get right to the agenda. As you can tell, the second thing on our agenda is approval of minute meetings from our past meetings on August 26th, 9/16, 10/14, 10/28, 11/18, 12/9, and 1/12/21. Do I have a motion for an approval of the meeting minutes for 8/26, 9/16, 10/14, 10/28, 11/18, 12/9, and 1/12/21?
I'll make a motion now.
Do I have a second?
This is Jeremy. I'll second.
All right. Any discussions on it? Any questions? Hearing none, I'd like to call to a vote for approval of the meeting minutes of 8/26, 9/16, 10/14, 10/28, 11/18, 12/9, and 1/12/21. All those in approval, say aye.
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 Any nays? Okay. It is approved of the meeting minutes from 8/26, 9/16, 10/14, 10/28, 11/18, 12/9, and 1/12/21. Third thing on the agenda, approval of invoices. Do I have a motion to approve? Anyone motion to approve?
Melanie.
Before we do that, Jason, just confirming everything's in budget and on schedule. Everything's expected.
Yeah, we're making a motion to approve. Then we'll discuss.
Okay, sure.
I'll make a motion to approve, Melanie.
Any second? Anyone for second?
Hector. Yes, second, Hector.
Okay. Any questions, discussions?
Well, let me go through them. There are only two. There's the Colliers invoice number 8189 for a total of $14,995.10, and Van Zelm, who is our commissioning agent, invoice number 47962 in the amount of $1,286, which will bring their construction line item up to 16%. The total invoices are for $16,281.10.
I'm sorry, what was Van Elm's scope?
They are the commissioning agent.
Yes,
on the
but
project.
they're correct. But right now, you said they are up to what percentage?
16.
Okay, so basically they did the original. I mean, they basically just started. Kind of, is that what you're saying?
They're in the midst of starting up, and they'll have with the turnover in April, they'll have a bigger presence as that ramps up to for that phase.
Any other questions? Any questions? All right, then I'm going to call to a vote to approve all the invoices. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All disapprove say nay. Any abstains? Okay, the ayes have it. Approve the invoices. Next, I need a motion for the approval of ATPS. Do I hear a motion?
This is Norm. I'll make a motion for approval of 31 and 42.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Yeah, Hector. Second.
Okay. Hector seconds. Any questions, open discussions, and Mark can bring us up to date.
Well, I will lead off and say in our discussions with Gilbane, they have rescinded ATP 41. That's why the motion was only for 31 and 42. So the new total between the two is $5,165. ATP 31 is to replace the gym wall pads on the wall next to the platform, the new platform. The existing wall pads are basically glued and screwed into the masonry wall, and the fear is as they take them off the wall, they will not be in a condition to put back in, and there's a lead time associated with these wall pads. So the thought is to get them. This ATP is for the material only. The labor to install them is already in the bids. And then ATP 42, this one lintel on the music wing was designed that it was short of the existing wall, and this is just to provide the extension of, I think, it's less than 2 feet of extension to this lintel to carry the brick above with the curtain wall below.
May I ask, this is Norm. May I ask why
Yep.
why that's an addition and why that wasn't done initially?
It was, well, I guess as they were building it, it came to the realization that there's brick above the one. It's a doorway with a lintel above it and a piece of curtain wall to the side of it. I guess it wasn't realized till it was erected that the lintel didn't extend all the way to carry the brick.
Was this during shop drawings or after?
It was after.
Okay, I don't know, Jason and Melon, did you was this discussed before with Mr. Quinn, or I'm not sure.
I mean, there's really, honestly, at this point, there's nothing to be done. You have to have, the lintel continued. Otherwise, nothing can be put above it, and that portion can't be completed.
No, I understand.
Yeah, no, but there's a measure. I just got to make sure that it was measured twice, or there was a shop drawing. It almost looks like it came after the fact that the steel shop and it was short 2 feet.
No, the shop drawing is correct. And it was installed per the shop drawing. Well, the shop drawing was approved, I should say, and it was installed per the shop drawing. It wasn't until they got it erected in the field that they realized that the brick ran across the header of the door.
Say, right?
What's this?
The site conditions were slightly different. Is that correct?
Yeah, you could say
Before
that. I mean, the actual dimension probably could not have been measured till it was up.
So, hi, it's Norm again, and listen, it's $2,400, so no one wants to hold up anything over $2,400, regardless of anything. I just want to, I feel like I'm somewhat the custodian of the town's funds. I just want to make sure that what we're approving is something that couldn't have been done, or somebody didn't drop the ball somewhere along the line. Again, $2,400 in the grand scheme of things, not a big deal. Definitely voting to approve it. We need it to get done, but if it was somebody else dropped the ball, then maybe we ought not to eat it. That's all.
Well, the town would have paid for the lintel if it was caught in design or shop drawings. The town would have paid for the cost of the lintel. So there's
for the extra 2 feet. Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, actually, the amount is not significant, but I think it's a good point that. Yeah.
I
think that's a good.
If there's an associated fee that gets tacked on top of doing it, like yes, we were going to have to pay for the materials and the labor to install it anyway, or whatever that is. But if there's an associated fee with a change order or anything like that, and it wasn't. And it was something that ought to have been taken care of before, then that's something that should be addressed. And if it's, listen, like I said, it's $2,400. At the end of the day, who really cares? But I just don't want to just be here and rubber stamp everything. If it's something that should have been done, then, maybe we should get a little break on it. I don't know.
Well, there is in the architect's contract, there's a clause for errors and omissions. And this is, they have a limit of up to what their errors and omissions can be. So I have this labeled as an error and omission. So if they don't hit that threshold, which I believe is, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's 2% of the construction value. If change orders for errors and omissions exceed 2% of the contract value, then the town has recourse to go seek compensation from the architect. But this is...
yeah, can I just jump in, Mark? I guess the question, the fact is, when you miss a door, but then you order it, you pay for it. You don't get it for free. So,
correct.
And the amounts are not, I think in this case, you're paying for the extra 2 feet extension of steel. And I guess that's it. We're not paying twice. We're not paying too much. Things happen.
No, we're not paying twice for the same piece of material. No.
Any other questions or concerns? And I hear what they're saying. I'm one of these big components that say, yeah, it's only $2,400, but it adds up, right? Especially during a construction site, even the little things keep adding up. So, but I think this is just, and correct me if I'm wrong, one of those things that happen, right? It's
yes, and there's contract language to address it.
If I could jump in, it's David Stein with Silver Petroselli. I mean, we'll take and we could continue the conversation, but we definitely take exception to it being an error and omission clause. The angle is shown on our plans. There isn't a dimension to show that it's defined to that extent. It didn't fully show up in the shop drawing. It actually came through as a question, and then it was, yes, we do need to extend it. So I think it was just an item because those lintel areas are typical, and it depends on where the section is cut. And I think, as Melanie was saying, we need the lintel. So the design intent is clear. We need a lintel. We have a section that's cut that says we need a lintel. This is purely just the difference between what was ordered and what was there, and that's really the difference. This isn't something was missed on the drawings. We have we have other details that show openings in which we are required to have support to it. So, in terms of whether or not this becomes a CM contingency or you pay it out of your owner's cost, I guess you could look at it. But I just want to jump in. I don't want this to be interpreted as we missed anything. This was shown. We didn't provide a dimension to go from X to X. This came up during shop drawing phase. It's actually shown in our model. So I just want to bring that up because we take exception to that piece of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what is the DOAS 5 and DOAS 6? Because that's 21,000 or 20,000.
ATP 41 has been rescinded.
It's been rescinded. So if there's no other questions,
sorry,
that
has been taken out.
Your comment.
It's been taken off the table for this.
Okay.
All right. Approval.
Thanks.
Silver Petroselli, thank you for your comment. It clarifies things.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions or comments? I move to bring it to a vote.
Yeah, I just have a quick minor. Can you hear me? This is Heather.
Yep.
Jason? Yeah. Okay. Is this one also include? I'm just not in front of the agenda. Is this also include the gym mats that you mentioned earlier, or is that a separate item to be approved?
Yeah,
I guess you can do the ATPs individually, or you can do them as a group.
My motion.
Okay, I just had a very superficial comment on the mats. So is now the time to bring it up, or wait?
You can bring it up, but we can talk about it. It's the next thing on the list.
Okay, I'll wait.
All right. So I'm looking for an approval of the ATPS. Are we ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
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 The motion was
Aye.
31 and 42. Okay.
I'm sorry?
The motion was for 31 and 42, so that was the vote. Just to keep
Any other?
In line.
Yep.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Yep, aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, been approved. Next on the agenda, approval of OCO, and Mark can lead us off from there.
Basically, because some of this work is being done in this month, Gilbane has asked for the ATPs that were just approved to be approved for owner change order. Normally, the ATPs have been previously approved, and we bring them to the committee for OCO approval or owner change order approval. Gilbane is seeking to have the two ATPs that just got approved be moved to owner change order, so their contract can be extended to encompass these two ATPs. So the owner change order will be in the amount of $5,165 for the ATP 31 and 42.
What are they for? Sorry, just remind us.
ATP 31, which is the wall pads.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
And sorry, Heather, you had a comment on the wall pads? Maybe just.
I just had a quick question. Yep, this is Heather speaking. I just had a quick question about the color to David Stein. It looks like the drawing indicates a selection of black. I was just curious if that's a final selection, if that's been, if that's the intention of the approval, it will then be ordered. I was just curious.
Heather, I don't know the color off the top of my head. I will need to confirm that for you, the color that was selected.
The existing wall pads are blue.
Yeah, I was just curious. It's part function and part aesthetic, so I just was curious as to the selection of black, as long as there's a reason for the selection. But. No,
they still need, the Gilbane will still need to provide a shop drawing for them, and that's when the...
Yeah.
Okay. I had
so with the
question.
approval doesn't mean it's being ordered, tomorrow or within a week. Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
No. I had the same question, Heather.
Yeah, Heather, we haven't, because the intent was to reuse that, so we haven't, we don't have a shop drawing yet. But, yeah, I'm not sure where it said black. Maybe it was just on the proposal sheet, but I would be surprised if we selected that.
Okay, great. Yeah, it does say it within the packet, so thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, well, thanks for pointing that out. I will make sure we double-check on the color. So thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'd like to bring to a vote to approve of OC 007. All in favor, so by saying aye.
Well,
aye.
Aye. Jason, do you have a motion?
I did.
You did? Okay. Sorry, I did not hear that.
Sorry. All in favor, say aye. Any nays?
Aye.
All right, it's been approved. On the agenda, number 6 is the approval of FF&E. I need a motion for approval of FF&E. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion, Melanie.
Do I have a second?
Hector.
Anybody want to? Hector will second. All right. I believe it's going to be Mark will lead us, and with David.
Yep. Okay. Within your packet, there was a FF&E bid results in there. This is a result of we received bids on January 7th. Last week on the 19th, after going through them, Silver Petrocelli, Fairfield Public Schools, and purchasing sat down and went through and basically scoped out the bids. In the packet, we have, as a result of the meeting on last week, we identified in purple the lowest qualified bidder for each of the categories on the left-hand side. Part of the scoping, there are 2 categories, Category B and Category F, that are in orange. These are the basis of design low bidder, and we've noted that there are 2 other vendors that have filed substitutions for these 2 categories, and they are under review. So we have, in the total number, we have carried the higher number. So if the substitutions are acceptable to Fairfield Public Schools and in the school, they'll be taken. But for right now, in our total, we have carried the higher number. There are 4 vendors, and on the second page of the handout, we have the preliminary totals for each, and for each category. Red thread will be $58,402. RH Lord will be $35,777.88. WB Mason is $33,796.50, and Workspace Consultant Group is $2,370.98. If if the substitutions are not accepted, the total for the 4 vendors will be $130,347.36. And if we take the substitutions, the vendor totals will change, but the total will be $111,832.46. The budget line item for the FF&E was $175,000. So with the higher numbers, there's a cost savings of just over, $44,500, which is a little bit more, but I'll round up. And if we take with the substitutions, it'll be just over $63,000 on the cost savings on the budget line items. And these have been vetted with Fairfield Public Schools and purchasing.
Are there any questions?
Just would ask the question if is this something that Kevin Chase is also involved in, or is this purely on a like a board or a Fairfield Public Schools consultant basis?
No, he
it's
is.
David Stein. No, he's involved.
Wonderful, thank you.
He was involved in the basis of design decisions, and on a couple of the substitutions, he is involved in it.
Just as a footnote, usually the principal, at least on the committees I've been on so far, they are very hands-on with what's going into their school and have some say in the matter. Actually, have a lot of say in the matter.
Yeah, I remember when we were early on in the planning phase, so I remember being told that. So I was just kind of circling back to it and making sure that was the case. Perfect.
Yep. Great. If there's no other questions or concerns, I'd like to bring this approval of the FF&E to a vote. All in
Jason,
favor?
It's Jeremy. Sorry, but before we do that, just
no
curious.
problem.
I mean, what's the take? Obviously, this is going to be quite a bit under budget. Why is it so far under budget? I guess that's good, but just curious why.
It's David Stein with Silver Petrocelli. Well, there's two things. One is which to your benefit, but unfortunately the economy is what it is, so everybody is sharpening their pencils, and we're seeing that across the board. But two, when we prepare these budgets, we use list pricing with some percentage of discount. If any of you are familiar with commercial furniture, there is a list price. I guess it's somewhat like buying a car. And then there's the actual buy cost, depending on what you're buying and how it's packaged. And that's essentially, where we land with this. So, we work with list pricing, so we are, I wouldn't say overly conservative with our budget, but it gives us the flexibility because it all depends on how things are packaged. And you could see by this spreadsheet that some vendors could buy it all, some are not able to buy it all, and their discounts, you'll get a greater discount if they're able to bundle it all together. So that's really the difference.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Hi, it's Norm, and I apologize if I'm misspeaking because I had a little bit of a cutoff there. But I'd like to offer a friendly amendment that we approve the higher number, and that if it comes out lower than that, we don't have to vote on it again.
Correct. So I'd like to put to a vote of the approval of the FF&E. If you can symbolize by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
Aye.
Any objections? Any abstentions? Okay, it's been approved FF&E. Going to number 7. I need a motion for the approval of the tab. Do I have a motion? I need a motion.
Hector?
Do I have a second?
Normal. It's normal second.
And Norm seconds. Okay. And then Mark?
Yep.
Can you bring us, give us the info.
When I believe last fall of 2019, when we put the commissioning out for RFP and selection, the tester and balancer is what TAB stands for, was not bid at that time because of we didn't know who or what the schedule was going to be like and what the phasing was going to be. So in their RFP, we asked them to bid this out. So this is the result of that. This is they went out to bid for testing and balancing services. This is the low. They have scoped them out, and this will be a change order to Van Zelm and the commissioning line item of $63,813. This combined with their work is still under budget in our line item. There was some concern because when compared to Holland Hill, this number is about 40 to 50% more, but Holland Hill had only essentially 2 phases that got turned over, where you require the tester and balancer to do testing and balancing. Mill Hill, we have 3 phases, 3 turnover phases, so we need the third mobilization for the tester and balancer, which is why it was more than Holland Hill.
Are there any questions? Are there other questions for Mark? Then I'd like to call to a vote to approve the tab. All in favor? Who has been saying aye?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Abstentions? Okay, it's been approved. Going on to number 8. Agenda number 8. I need a motion for an approval of the AIT proposal. So I have a motion.
I'll make a motion, Melanie.
Hector
Melanie,
second.
do I have a Hector second? Mark, is this you?
Yep. Yes, this is me. This is HB is off the state contracting list, and it's the preferred vendor for Fairfield Public Schools. This is for the removal and reinstallation of essentially the smart boards and the projectors in each of the classrooms. So as Gilbane works around the existing building, this is HB's cost to remove and reinstall the projectors and the IT smart boards and projectors. They did work for us previously in August to clear a couple of the rooms for the summer phase, and at that time we said we wanted to get them back to get the rest of the project. We took them around the building a couple weeks ago, and this proposal is to do the remaining rooms in the building. And the cost of it is $25,752.
Any questions? Comments?
Mark, this is Jeremy. We budgeted this cost, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, if there's none, I'd like to take to a vote the approval of the AV-IT proposal, symbolized by saying aye.
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 Any nays or abstentions? Okay, it's been approved, the AV-IT proposal. Moving on to number 9, the project update, and give Mark a break on talking tonight. Rob, it's all yours.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. So starting out front at the music edition, at this point we are done with the substantially complete with the brick on the exterior of the building. Moving inside, we were able to get in-wall inspection for the mechanical piping and plumbing piping and electrical that's required in the walls since the last building committee. So what that means is at this point we're moving forward with the cement board that we need in the bathrooms to start tile, and we're also pretty much substantially complete with the sheetrock we need in the different classrooms and storage rooms. So at this point we're almost done taping, and what it's allowing us to do is actually start painting this week. So looking ahead a little bit, we'll be working on our first coat of primer and the first coat of the main paint, and that allows us to then move on to starting to put in ceiling grid. Ceiling grid allows us to start setting lights in, so it's a good progression there. We're excited to get the painting and the ceiling grid going, and we're just moving forward and moving ahead at music. Moving into the back to the kindergarten edition. So we also received our in-wall inspection approval from the town building department for the kindergarten edition. So we're starting to put the cement board on in the bathrooms and should be wrapped up this week. And we're also starting the sheetrock. Taping will follow, so we'll be taping next week. So we have a slight lag with the kindergarten versus music, but we should be kind of where we are in music in the kindergarten edition within a week or two.
Making your plate now.
So progress above ceiling too with the mechanicals and the equipment that needs to be installed for the HVAC is moving along well as well. So our next real milestone will be targeting those above ceiling inspections for early and mid-February. Outside of that, the other major update is that we're just still targeting that February 12th for permanent power. So UI has been out. They've installed the poles they needed to relocate and install. We have the transformer set for the permanent power, and we're basically have our raceways installed. So they're getting ready to start being able to pull the cabling they need to terminate and connect that to transformers inside the building.
Thanks. Any questions? Any questions for Rob?
Just a very quick
All
question.
Right.
So, because I'm looking at risks and constraints for next year, I guess for the next academic year, where are we going to be?
Do you want butter? Lulu, do you want butter on your bread or plain?
Heather.
Hey,
Heather.
Heather.
Oh,
Heather,
sorry.
you go on mute.
Heather.
I got it. Sorry.
I'm just for September. I'm just looking at the big picture. Where are we going to be in September, like for the new year, for the new school year?
So for the new school year, we're down to that one last remaining phase, which is between the gym, library, and the current main office. So we're still on target where we'll be working on that last phase in the fall, and then just kind of wrapping up the site restoration and those kind of activities into spring of 2022.
Okay. Are there any major risk or constraints or anything that we need to be planning for before that?
No, not at this time. I mean, obviously we continue to monitor COVID and its impacts on production and, material, but nothing to flag at this time.
Thanks.
All right. If there's no other questions for Rob, we'll go to item 10 on the agenda, the adjournment. If I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second, Heather.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, and we are adjourned. Everyone
Thank you,
stay
everybody.
safe. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Drive safely.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Bye.